post a story, put your phone down, and tell yourself you are done. Maybe it is a photo from a night out, a quiet coffee shop picture, a gym update, or a song lyric that is not really about anyone. 2 minutes later, your hand reaches for the phone. You open the app, swipe up, and scan the viewer list. You are not checking the number. Not really. You are looking for a name. Perhaps it belongs to someone you like, someone you miss, an ex, or a person whose opinion matters more than you admit. When the name appears, you feel a small burst of satisfaction. When it does not, you close the app and check again later. That tiny ritual looks harmless, but it reveals how social media has changed attention. A story is no longer just something you share. It becomes a live social experiment. You post an image, then watch who reacts, who ignores it, and who appears hours later. The viewer list turns curiosity into a repeatedly refreshed scoreboard. Instagram lets people see who viewed a story for a limited period after it was posted. That sounds like a simple transparency feature, but psychologically it creates an unfinished question. Who has seen me? Unlike a normal post, where feedback appears as visible likes or comments, a story gives you a private list. Nobody else can see how carefully you study it. That privacy makes the habit easier to repeat. The strongest pull comes from uncertainty. If you knew exactly who would view your story and when, there would be little reason to check. Every refresh might reveal a new person, and that possibility keeps the loop alive. Research suggests that online feedback can operate through reward learning processes. Likes and other forms of social approval are processed by systems that overlap with those involved in other rewards. The important part is not that every notification produces intense pleasure. It is that the reward is unpredictable. Sometimes the person you hoped for appears immediately. Sometimes they arrive late. Sometimes they never appear. That uncertainty teaches the brain that checking might pay off, even when most checks reveal nothing new. The viewer list can therefore feel more powerful than the story itself. Posting takes seconds. Monitoring the audience can occupy your thoughts for hours. The list also invites interpretation. A person watched within 3 minutes. Does that mean they were waiting? Someone viewed the first story but not the second. Did they lose interest? An ex watched everything but did not reply. Are they curious, jealous, bored, or simply tapping through stories while half asleep? The honest answer is usually that you cannot know. Story views contain little information, yet the mind treats them like clues. When a relationship feels uncertain, we search for evidence. Social media supplies fragments of view, a like, and unfollow. A delayed reply, each vague enough to support the explanation we want to believe. A view can become emotional currency. It may feel like proof that you still matter to someone. Their silence is easier to tolerate because at least they saw you. Their absence, meanwhile, can feel like rejection, even though they may simply have been busy, offline, or uninterested in stories that day. The trap becomes stronger when a post has a hidden target. People often say they are posting for everyone, but sometimes a story is designed for one person. The outfit, location, quote, song, or carefully casual selfie is a message disguised as general content. Because the message is indirect, the viewer list becomes the reply. Did they see it? That question can keep you returning long after the story stops being fun. Social feedback carries real emotional weight. In laboratory research, adolescents shown Instagram-style images with many likes were more likely to endorse those images, while popular images were linked with greater activity in brain regions associated with reward processing, attention, and social cognition. A story view is not identical to a like, but both turn social attention into a visible signal. They make approval measurable. Once attention becomes measurable, comparison arrives naturally. You compare today's views with yesterday's, or one selfie with another. A low number can feel like social failure. A high number creates pressure to repeat whatever seemed to work. This is how sharing slowly becomes performing. Instead of asking, "Do I like this?" you begin asking, "Will people watch this?" You choose a more dramatic caption. You post when your audience is active. You remove a story that is not getting enough attention. You may post another slide mainly to bring people back to the first one. None of this means everybody who checks a viewer list is addicted or insecure. Curiosity is normal, and social media can support real connection. Research does not show that all social media use automatically damages mental health. One longitudinal study found no simple direct relationship between general social media use and mental well-being in its sample. The problem begins when checking stops being a choice and becomes a reflex. You notice it when your mood changes because one name is missing, when you interrupt work or sleep to refresh the list, or when you post things you do not care about just to provoke a reaction. Most clearly, you notice it when a story meant to express your life starts controlling how you feel about it. Habitual checking can train attention toward possible social rewards and punishments. A study of early adolescence found that frequent social media checking was associated over time with changes in sensitivity to social feedback cues. The study does not prove that checking alone causes every brain change or emotional problem, but it supports the idea that repeated monitoring is not psychologically neutral. What we repeatedly notice can shape what our minds learn to treat as important. There is also a quieter fear beneath the habit, fear of being forgotten. Stories disappear quickly. Their temporary nature creates urgency for viewers, but also for the person who posted them. You have a limited window in which people can notice you, react to you, or confirm that you still occupy a place in their minds. The disappearing post can make social attention feel scarce. Fear of missing out is usually described as the fear that other people are enjoying experiences without us. The story viewer trap contains a reversed version, the fear that other people are moving through life without noticing us. Studies connect FOMO with problematic social media use, social comparison, and negative effects on daily life, although these relationships are complex and differ between people. Breaking the loop does not require deleting every app or pretending you no longer care what anybody thinks. A more realistic approach is to remove the immediacy. Post the story, then decide not to check the viewers for an hour. Later, stretch that period longer. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Avoid coded messages for one person, send an honest message instead. Most importantly, notice the emotion before you check. Is it boredom, loneliness, hope, jealousy, or anxiety? Naming the feeling makes the behavior less automatic. You can also ask a simple question. What will change after I look? If the person viewed it, you may feel relieved for a few minutes. If they did not, you may feel disappointed and check again later. Either way, the viewer list rarely gives the certainty you were seeking. It provides data without context, attention without intimacy, and signals without explanations. That is the real trick. The list appears to answer a social question, but it usually creates more questions than it resolves. You posted a moment from your life. The platform turned it into a test. Then it gave you a button you could press repeatedly while waiting for the result. The way out is not to stop sharing. It is to remember that being seen is not the same as being known, and a name on a viewer list is not a measure of your value, your relationships, or the importance of the life you are living when nobody is watching. So next time you check your story viewers, ask yourself, are you sharing a moment or waiting for one person to notice it? If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories about the hidden systems shaping your everyday behavior.